Welcome to the Clemson Dubcast, a rare game day edition of the podcast. If you're looking to get in some last-minute prep for this game, and by game, of course, we mean Clemson at Miami, TigerIllustrated.com is the place to be. Just put up some Saturday morning nuggets from Paul Strelo and I, and then, of course, the ever-popular in-game thread is already up and running. My good friends Blake Smith and Brooke Archenhold have been part of the podcast since the beginning, way back in August of 2018. They have an accomplished team of personal injury attorneys at Parham, Smith, and Archenhold based in Greenville. They are Clemson people, and their skillful attorneys have decades of experience in complicated litigation matters, taking a special interest in medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, and neglect, car accident cases that have left the individuals involved in serious trouble. For a free consultation at Parham, Smith, and Archenhold, call 864-990-4581 or online at parhamlaw.com. That's PARHAM law.com. When you're ready for a complete renovation in your home or business, open the door to more with Harris Home and Harris Commercial. Their local experienced team will totally transform any room space, from beautiful floor coverings to construction to finished details. Harris handles every step of your renovation process, whether it's a kitchen or living room or an industrial or educational setting, like some of the positively stunning work they've done at Clemson University. Go to discoverharris.com and experience a total renovation transformation from Harris Home and Harris Commercial. Solero Communications, formerly known as Tandem Payment, is a full-service integrated electronic payments provider powered by leading-edge technology. Solero provides a wide array of merchant solutions, simplified payments. They make onboarding, taking payments, maintaining risk management and compliance, and getting support quick and easy. At Solero, they're all about helping you achieve sustainable growth as a business. Taking payments isn't the only thing your business needs. With Solero's solutions, you can manage inventory, sell products and services via social media, schedule staff, track sales, get reports, and much, much more. Find out more about Solero at solerocommerce.com. That's CELERO commerce.com. Okay, to our interview with Reggie Merriweather, who phoned in from a balcony overlooking the Atlantic Ocean. Awesome conversation here with Reg. Here we go. All right, joined by Reggie Merriweather, who sounds like he's on a balcony overlooking the Atlantic Ocean. Is that right?
That is exactly right. So we're sitting right here on the Intercoastal, right here at the East Hotel in East Miami, which is really cool. It's a really cool place. I think Brickell is the name of this neighborhood. Man, it's really nice, really nice.
How far from the stadium?
We're about 30 minutes from the stadium. So we're South Miami, I guess, south of Fort Lauderdale. But yeah, it's the place is called Brickell, and it's on East Miami. So yeah, it's a really nice little area. Like you said, you can look out, see some of the ports, and right here on the Intercoastal too, some of the channels that go through the neighborhoods and some of the sky rises. Man, it's beautiful.
What's the routine for Reggie Merriweather on a road game weekend? What do you have a particular routine you stick to, or what's that like?
Well, I tell you what, no particular routine. My travel buddy is usually Ben Milstead. Obviously, we travel with the team sometimes, so usually go out, have dinner, and then usually walk around and see what's open. And just, again, not being a player for so long, you travel to all these places, but you never get to be a part of the fandom. So, going around connecting with, former student athletes, people who live in Miami, travel to wherever game we go to, loyal fans, just meeting some of those people at popular places, spreading the $2 bills around, just enjoying the atmosphere and the game day vibe wherever we travel to. So usually that's what we do. And then the day of the game, like I said this morning, get breakfast, watch a little ESPN and focus in on kind of what the Tigers need to do to come up victorious.
So you got in this trip, you flew in on Thursday?
Yeah, I flew in on Thursday this time. Like I said, again, it's a little bit of a mini vacation. But, yeah, Miami has so much to experience. I think, it's kind of one of those things. We've been down here before, played in a couple of bowl games in Orlando, played in a couple games down here in Miami. But just coming to experience just some of the culture and just the water and, like you said, the nightlife here, man, it's just amazing.
All right, so what did you do Thursday and Friday night?
Man. So we ended up, we basically just been going around trying different restaurants and a couple places on the water. Nice Italian spot we went to, which is really cool. And like I said, most of the places we've gone to have been right on the water. So boat watching, people watching, it's just been an awesome experience. So belly full and, just been enjoying just the rich eats here and just some of the views throughout Miami.
How late do you come in? I might be getting too personal.
No, not too personal. No. So, like I said, the first night, well, I think we stayed up till like 10 or 11. So,
you're an old man.
Yeah. The nightlife really doesn't get kicked off until midnight. But like I said, long flight. Woke up at 4. Flight was at 7. So, we got here plenty enough time to, like I said, get lunch, get dinner, experience some of the stuff. And man, my gosh, some of the bars and the hospitality here of people. And like I said, a lot of people don't even know that there's a game this weekend. They think it's, NFL. But like I said, again, it's been a great adventure thus far. But yeah, got in last night about 11:30. That was late for us. So like I said, just able to experience some of the local spots. We got some great recommendations for some people that we met on Thursday. And the place that we really enjoyed is called SoCal. It's like a taco stand. As soon as we walked in, we got local vibes. So it's a small little bar restaurant right outside of a bigger bar and restaurant, and it's just a couple bar stools and local taco place. You can go get street tacos there. Got a nice T-shirt. Got a couple shots, couple drinks. It was a really cool little deal. The hospitality, like I said, again, here in Miami has been amazing. So it's a really good time, really good trip.
Little birdie told me that you're a connoisseur of red wine and bourbon.
I'm a connoisseur of bourbon. I drink the wine for moral support. Yeah. So my girlfriend loves wine, and I've been drinking it just because she orders it, and somebody's got to drink it. So, but it's grown on me over the years. But the bourbon is definitely my go-to. So, like I said, every time we go to Louisville, we have to do the Bourbon Trail. Just check out some of the different small little places that sell extravagant bourbons there. Another story, Ben and I went to the boardwalk down there by the river, and we went to the KFC arena, and then we ended up walking back up to one of the small little shopping centers, and we saw this bourbon place we walked into, and man, this guy had wall-to-wall bourbon. It was amazing. And so Ben and I ended up buying a couple bottles of Weller and some other stuff there. But I mean, it was just an amazing trip, and be able to find something as rare as what we found was actually really cool. So, that's just another one of the stories of Ben and Reggie on the road. But like I said, it's just a really cool thing to be able to, like I said, experience that. And like you said, when you go to different places, be able to just check out some of the culture and hospitality of the people there.
All right. So if you had to do a blind test between, say, I don't know, a $60 bottle of bourbon and a $25 bottle of bourbon, would you be able to tell the difference?
Yeah, I definitely would. So, and I tell everybody this too. So, I mean, you like what you like regardless of the price. So, you could go and buy, like we were talking about this last night, it's like tequila. You can go and buy a $1,000 bottle of tequila, and it may be some smoky flavor, that you don't like, but you could go get a $30 bottle of Jose Cuervo and sip on it and make it a mixed drink. It'd be the best thing you ever tasted. So, you could definitely tell the difference with the bourbon and all the notes in it and all that good stuff. So my go-to is Basil Hayden. Angel's Envy Rye is good too. Angel's Envy is good. It's all made by the same people. So like I said, I enjoy the mid-tier stuff, anywhere from 50, 60, $70 a bottle. But we do have some bottles, like you said, that Weller that we got, north of 200, and it's still good. But like you said, you can enjoy yourself with the cheaper stuff, without breaking the bank. So your taste buds after a couple won't even know the difference.
It's crazy.
So yeah,
it's crazy, Reggie. We recently had for my wife's birthday, we had a few close friends over, and we had a tequila tasting. And,
oh wow!
And one of the friends secretly brought a bottle of. It was a tequila bottle, but he poured the tequila out and poured some bourbon in it to see if anybody would notice that it was bourbon.
Oh wow, tricky.
Reggie. Nobody. Actually, one person said this kind of tastes a little like bourbon-y, but otherwise, otherwise, we're sitting there going, "Oh, this is more smoky than the other tequilas," and nobody. It's really. I mean, I guess it hits to what you said. Once you've tasted several, like your taste buds are kind of shot. But to me, it kind of reinforced that, man, it's all branding, and it's mostly all the same. It's just what you like, have it in your hand. What looks better, what tastes better to you.
Yeah, and what's crazy is I learned this not too long ago. So obviously, all the bourbons now, they. In any bourbon distillery, they cannot reuse the barrels. So they'll end up selling off the barrels to different companies. So you have your bourbon barrel wine, your bourbon barrel tequila, all this type stuff. They'll actually sell the barrels to these other companies, and they'll put their product in it, and then it'll take on the notes of the whiskey. So like your char, your kind of Carlisle's flavoring, that type stuff from the barrel. And that's where you get all these other different, like you said, bourbon barrel beers, wines, tequilas, that type stuff. But you're right. Like you said, once you've had one or two of something strong, then the other stuff kind of just moseys on along with it. But yeah, you're absolutely right. That's like I said, it's kind of one of those things. Is like unless you drink it all the time, then you probably wouldn't know the difference. But like you said, that's pretty sneaky to have that tasting and. That person dump out tequila and put that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny.
I mean, I've had Pappy before, and Pappy. I don't know how much. What was that, like $4,000 or $5,000 about? I don't know what it is. I could be totally.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It depends on the year. So you got 10-year, 20-year. So yeah, that you're right along the price line. You're right.
But like we each had like a couple of sips. I would not be able to tell the difference between that and a $50 bottle of bourbon at all. Not even close.
Yeah. And I think that's what people. Like I said, you like what you like regardless of the price. I think a lot of people too. Ceremonial bourbon. I mean, you could buy a $2,000 bottle, open it for your wedding or some type of special occasion. I know a lot of people hoard that type stuff, but, like I said, again, you want a nice bottle for a celebration, wedding, birthday, something like that, then, yeah, deserve it. Go out and get you one, but you can have just as much fun with a bottle under $100. You know what I mean? So, like I say, you like what you like. It's kind of one of the deals where, like you said, the branding, people get thrown off by, buying these expensive bourbons when basically, once a bourbon manufacturer has met their bottle quota, they ended up slapping another label on the bottle and they'll sell it at Costco. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So I've heard stories of that and some other stuff too for bourbon manufacturers. But it's they definitely get you with the branding. They they can get you to go out and spend some money for sure.
Well, the best example of this is domestic beer, domestic pilsners. Like people will probably literally fight over. What's better, Miller Lite or Bud Light or whatever. That's all the same. Like there's
right.
And I've done the taste test to prove it with like 20 people, and everybody just bombs it, and it's just like, I guess it's a good excuse to throw a party, if nothing else.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, what? So all right, you obviously have a day job. You're in construction, right? In Greenville. Tell everybody about what you're up to just away from the microphone and what your life is like just from an everyday perspective.
Well, I've been on the road the last couple of years. So the company I worked for was actually O'Neill Engineering. So I just left that company and I'm with Carroll Daniels Construction now out of Gainesville. So I stay on the road. Construction is everywhere but where you live. So I've been on the road here for the last pretty much decade, working in Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina a little bit, North Carolina, Tennessee, all over the Southeast. So I'm in quality control. I've been doing that for, like I said, about 5 years now. I'm in the QA role, which is a little bit different, more heavy on the paperwork. But I enjoy what I do, get to see some cool stuff. I've been in nuclear field for a while down in Savannah River. And then, like I said, I've been in commercial construction the last about 4 years and some change. So it's not too crazy exciting. But like I said, again, you get to meet some very interesting people, see some interesting things. And like I said, it's a lot of guys in this industry in construction that have been doing it for years and years and years. And, it's kind of a dying breed, so to say. So a lot of kids are going to 4-year schools now. You don't have a lot of people come out of 2-year college with a welding certification, plumbing certification, electrician. So the trades right now, very picky. And, you've got a lot of older people cycling out and fewer younger people getting into it. So that's where you have your demand is so high for good quality workers. But like I said, away from the microphone, doing the QA thing, QC thing right now, and just kind of enjoying life. Like I said, again, I've been on the road, been some cool places. Last place I was at was in Kingsport, Tennessee. And that's where Don Munson is. I think he went to college right down the road from there. But yeah, he's hooked me up with a couple of places to go up there and get good barbecue. And it's just been kind of a laid back deal since I've gone with Carroll Daniels. I'm in Gainesville now, and like I said, again, waking up at 3-4 o'clock in the morning for concrete, and then staying up in the afternoon to watch people finish it. So it's been a pretty cool little deal.
How far, when you say you're traveling, you mean you go to Kingsport and stay there, or you commute like daily, or?
I stay there. Yep. All of my jobs are probably 3+ hours away from the house. So yeah, I usually stay there during the week, and then we travel for football on the weekend.
Stay in a hotel, basically?
Yep, stay in a hotel. Yep. And
you said you're waking up for cement?
Yeah, so this is crazy. So a lot of people don't know too. So concrete is a bunch of materials that they put in a truck and then they dump it on the ground and it turns solid. So, but there's a lot more to it than what you think. So the optimal time to pour concrete is when the sun's not out, right? So you have time to finish it. If you have any issues, like I said, it's cooler during the night or the early mornings, so you don't have to rush and worry about concrete setting up on you. So again, it's easier to pour because there's no traffic on the road. It's cooler outside. Like I said, you have a lot more time to work with it when the sun's not out. So that's just a couple of things that people really don't realize when you talk about concrete. So, and concrete makes up probably, 60% of, construction. So, and then you put your metal on top of it, and then you put your roof, and then you have a building. So, yeah, concrete is a pretty big deal.
Did you study for this career in college? What was your degree in?
That's a great question. So my degree is actually in HR, human resources.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a little a little funny, a little crazy. But like I said, when I started this thing here, I was coming out of college. I dabbled in the NFL for a little while. Was in San Diego for preseason, got cut, ended up moving back home, and then I was trying to just kind of figure out what I want to do next. So every job that I applied for that had human resources on it, they told me I didn't have enough experience, and so I ended up going to working at Home Depot for a couple of months. And anyways, there was a Clemson alumni that kept coming in there. And he said, "What are you doing working here?" I said, "Well, the man's got to eat." So anyway, he ended up hooking me up with a job in construction. It was actually at Savannah River for a company called Shaw. And like I said, again, it just kind of took off from there. So I've been basically doing it ever since. So that's been an interesting journey for sure.
So you think that fan just sort of took an interest in you, like he just saw something in you and sort of felt like, maybe if he persisted that you'd come. I'm just curious how that works. I mean, that's just obviously that's a part of a benefit of playing football is sort of your name and being recognized as such. But I'm just curious to hear a little more about that.
Yeah, so I'm trying to remember his name right now. He actually played at Clemson. Defensive lineman, played back in the late 90s. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be remiss if I forget his name right now. But yeah, so I actually played back in the late 90s. And like I said, I got a call from him one day, and he was like, what do you got going on? And I said, just trying to find my way in the world, blah, blah, blah. He was like, come work for me. So anyways, it just kind of blossomed from there. So that's a really, really cool deal, man, to be a part of. And like you said, the Clemson family kind of looking out for one of their own,
Yeah. What was it like for you sort of transitioning into the real world, just sort of mentally? I mean, I know, that can be hard for a lot of guys because you've spent most of your life being defined by what you do on a football field and being better than almost everyone else on a football field. Just curious what that process was like for you as you're trying to find sort of a new identity so early in life.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, it was kind of a rude awakening. Obviously you try to, I don't know, I wouldn't say project, but just try to figure out what you got going on after football. So nowadays, you've got, people there on campus to kind of, help you with NIL, kind of help you with everything else. And it's like, back in the Tommy Bowden days, we really didn't have that. Support system, if that makes any sense. So for, a guy to come out back then, he'd go back home and just like, what are you going to do for the rest of your life? You got this degree, you play ball, and it's kind of all you knew how to do was play football, So, but I think the support system now for those kids, man, is just through the roof. We had Jeff Davis and a bunch of people in the front office to kind of talk to, but we didn't really have anybody to go to as far as, getting a job and, the next step. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now they've got a whole support system. They've got a whole staff. They've got everybody, with the called the Mr. program and the I forget the other one that they have now that
Paul Journey.
Rashard Hall. Yeah, Paul Journey, Rashard Hall, and all them over. So man, it's just amazing to see just the outreach that these guys, obviously the former players, with their connections with the NFL and all these Fortune 500 companies that are around Greenville, Clemson, Anderson, Charlotte, Atlanta, be able to say, hey, you guys understand football's, not forever, but you take your shot where you can, and let's help you build your resume. Let's get you some life skills, some stuff that's going to help you outside of football. So I think they've done an amazing job with that, and I give them kudos, man, because like I said, you go back up there now, and I've even tried to get my company to go recruit some of those guys, man. It really is heartfelt, like I said, to see that happening. But going back to when I was there, Tommy Bowden, you had Terry Don Phillips there. You had a good support staff for academics, but outside of the football, you really didn't have anything to kind of lean on to. So again, trying to find your way, moving back home, and that time when I came out, it was 2007, but 2008, we had the huge market crisis, and the housing market just took a tank. So that was part of the reason too. It was kind of hard to find a job, but at the same time, you really didn't have people that were, like you said, from the football office standpoint, reaching out, trying to get you linked up with, people in the upstate that, had businesses and stuff that you could come work for. So, like I said, again, just trying to find yourself, life skills, that type stuff. And it's kind of people really, I don't know, it just kind of one of the things you start working and you're so caught up in working, making a paycheck that you just kind of forget what you want to do and what makes you happy. So that was kind of my deal. Like I was just working. And then, like I said, this guy came along and was like, hey, you shouldn't be working here. You should be doing something different. And so, like I said, that's how I kind of got stuck. And we went from there. So
what were you doing at Home Depot?
What was that now?
What were you doing at Home Depot?
Oh, man. So a little bit of everything. So I really enjoyed that job. Home Depot is one of the best jobs I've ever had. So I was in the, the tool department. And I actually applied for department head, but they denied me. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I left. But I tell everybody, man, Home Depot is, and like Lowe's, is a home improvement company. So, I mean, you could go in there and walk around for hours and not find what you need. But if you get a guy or a lady or a sales associate that's dedicated and that kind of knows the store and knows what you need, hey, you could be in and out of there in 10 minutes and have everything that you ever wanted for your project. So, like I said, I enjoyed that job. I tried to get on at a couple of corporate places, but like I said, again, my resume was a little light. So they said thanks, but no thanks. But Home Depot is an amazing company, amazing brand. Obviously, I shop there now. So I was in the tool department. I pretty much worked the whole store, forklift driver, sales associate, garden expert, whatever you needed, you came to me and I'd get you set up.
Was this in North Augusta?
No, it was in Aiken. Actually in Aiken. Yeah. Yep, actually in Aiken. So, like I said, it was a cool little deal. And it's kind of one of those things too, man. I worked there with a bunch of, met some good friends there. A bunch of just guys, college kids, man, that were just trying to make a living. So we made fun of it in our opportunities. We actually got written up a couple of times because we wrote on our aprons, and so you can't have any type of writing on your apron. And so, like I said, man, we just made fun with it. Every day we'd wear a different apron and it'd have something else on it. Like mine would have the bear on it or something like that, or just something funny. So customers would read it and laugh and all that good stuff. So we had fun with it. It was just kind of one of those things, like I said, working minimum wage gig. It was just, trying to find things to help time fly by. So, but it was good. I wouldn't trade it for the world, man. That was a great experience.
Your experience coming through Clemson football at a different time, as you said, I think that really hits on the difference between then and now, in that you just said you got your degree in human resource development, but at that time it was more of a, they're just sort of, I don't want to say processing football players, but it's like, okay, you got your degree, and that's pretty much where all the emphasis is. What's great to brag about how many guys have gotten their degrees, but what have you done for them to help them make something out of those degrees? And so exactly what you're seeing now is, like, if you came out now, you would probably have had internships over the summer and all this other stuff to really make that degree work to the point where, you would have had experience before you even get that degree. That's the picture that I sort of see now that they're doing, with all of it so fleshed out with that support system that the players have now.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And so I that's a good thought you brought that up. So you talk to players now, and I'd like to use a couple people as an example. Darian Rencher, sorry, I said his name wrong. Darian Rencher is one of those guys that, obviously had a little playing time at Clemson. But you look at him now, and he's got his own company started now. He's got his own brand. He's got, obviously married, kids, blah, blah, blah. But he's really successful. And you look at his podcast and what he has going now, and the people that he has on the podcast. I mean, the kid he's rocking it out, man. And this new, social platform age, man, he's really done well for himself. And, you always see him promoting his brand, going to games, all that type stuff. I just think that's really cool. I think it's really cool for him to be a part of something bigger than Clemson itself and then Clemson football. But he's used that platform, to escalate his career. And just so proud of him and what he's become and what he's done. So it's just really cool.
Are you no longer on the balcony?
Oh, yeah.
It sounds much better.
I came in. I came in. It was a little windy. Yeah, it was a little windy, so I came in.
So, all right. How many years, what year is this for you doing the broadcast thing?
This is year 6, I believe. It's either 5 or 6 doing the broadcast.
What was your first season?
I think first season was 20. It was right after, right after they won the national championship. I think in 2016.
Okay, so 17.
Is when I started. Yeah.
So this would be if it was 17, that should be your 7th season. 17, 18.
Okay, so 7th season. Yeah.
I'm just curious how it's evolved, how your comfort with that has evolved. I mean, it's just it's not something you can really prepare for. You just have to sort of go do it and get comfortable, doing it. What's that process been like? Like, what were you like at the beginning as far as how you were sort of handling it and viewing it, and how is it different from now when you're preparing for a game and when you're actually giving your insight from the sidelines?
Well, I tell you what, the whole sideline gig was pretty awesome. So obviously COVID happened, and then I got promoted to the booth. But
you're permanently in the booth now?
Yeah, permanently in the booth.
I'm sorry,
now, man.
I should have known that.
No, that's cool. That's cool. Like I said, a lot of people don't know. They say, "Well, you're still doing the, you're the color analyst, right? You're on the sideline." I said, I was on the sideline, then COVID happened, and then they booted everybody off the field.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. But it's, like I said, it's been a really cool deal, man. I've enjoyed myself. But, yeah, the preparation for sideline versus in the booth, sitting beside the great Tim Beret and Don Munson, man, it's totally different. So, before the games when I was on the sideline, we talk about big plays, and they'd come down to me, during turnovers, that type stuff. But now, sitting up in the booth, really got to do your research. But after the first couple of games, you can kind of settle down, learn all the new names. It took forever to learn a row and
DJ
Uwe Onglele. So it took some time to figure that out. But other than that, man, like I said, it's just been incredible working with Sanford, Ben, Tim, and Don. It's been a really good crew. And, I wouldn't trade it for the world, man. Those guys have really helped me along. First couple of years, man, they, Ben have to, text me, call me, because they get to the games, 5 hours earlier. They have to text me and call me and say, "Hey, man, we're on in 30 minutes, but where you at? Would you get lost or whatever?" So that's been a running joke for last couple of years, being late to the broadcast, whatever. But yeah, it's just been exciting. And like I said, now, having to, look through all of the social media and look through all the ESPN stuff, the game day notes, all that good stuff, man, that's a part of it now. So a little different prep, but still fun, still enjoyable. And like you said, man, just happy to be part of the game day with these guys, which is a really, really good, solid crew.
I'm always amazed at sideline reporters, whether TV, radio, or whatever, that they can see enough, because it's so hard to see plays develop, at least for me, when you're at ground level. And so you hear somebody like Tom Luganbill, who's on ESPN, he's a sideline guy, and right after the play ends, he'll say, "All right, now watch how this guard gets to the second level and then walls off the linebacker, and then that allows the tight end to do a little slip here." And I'm just like, how does he see this in real time? Did you?
Yeah.
Are you able to see things a lot better from the box versus the sideline?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the crazy thing is about it too. You've got the replay? Usually the replay officials usually sit in the booth beside us on some of the away games. So if if something does happen, you can look beside you and see what they're reviewing. And then that's kind of something easy to talk about right there. And then, if they've got something else going on, whether it be like a face mask or, just stuff that they would normally, review in the booth, you could always see it. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then, like I said, you've got all the knowledge there just with, Don and Tim just being a part of, they've got 50 years of experience between the two of them. So it's just crazy to, like you said, again, the wealth of knowledge that those guys have. So, just kind of leaning on them to kind of see, okay, when there's a flag or somebody was holding or something like that, that's a big part of it too. So, like I said, just kind of leaning on them. And then, sometimes you see stuff too. Like I said, I mean, you can watch a hole develop from up top, you know what I mean? So it's a little bit easier to see from up top versus the sideline. But, you kind of get the vibe of the game, sitting on the sideline, or you can hear the coaches yelling or players yelling or whatever it is, talking to their teammates. So that's really the big difference, man. Just the vibe of the game from, the field versus, sitting up in the booth where you can see more of the action that's going on.
When do your responsibilities start? Like, when are you supposed to be there at the beginning, and when do they end? Is it right? Do you have to hang around for a little while after the game ends and talk about it? I'm just curious for the time frame of before and then after.
Usually you're 2 hours before kickoff. So we have stuff going on. That's usually when things start, about 2 hours before. But like I said, we we do a good job of, like I said, keep it in touch. Like I said, if we're doing something special for the day, we may have to come a little earlier. But other than that, like I said, it's it's nothing too crazy. Now, Ben Milstead, who's our on-site engineer, man, he shows up early, so he's there. He's there. Like I said, 5-6 hours before kickoff starts, which is crazy. But he's got to get everything set up. He takes care of everybody too. So yeah.
What's your routine before you show up? Do you go tailgate? What's your normal?
Like I said, just depends on what we got. Depends on what we got going on. So I'll normally, like you said, hang out for a little bit. I'll maybe go tailgate once in a blue moon. Home games, like I said, we usually will park and tailgate. So I usually have a good time there. But usually on the road, just depends on what we got going on. It's sometimes easier to, like I said, to link up with people if they're coming in town. So I can do that there. But most of the time, just like I said, if you're on the road, get some food for the game, or either just go to the booth early, man. And, you see some people catch up with James Davis, CJ, some of the coaches down the field before the game. So, just maybe do a little bit of that. Nothing too crazy during games.
It's so funny, some of the maybe notions that fans have of our routines, and I say our, meaning, we're both doing work, during the games.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, Larry, what's your tailgate routine? Are you just throwing back beers and eating wings like the rest of us? And I'm like, no, if I did that, I would be really bad at my job.
Yeah. No. That's like I said, we like to have a good time. Because like I said, we'll go out the day before and hang out. But other than that, like I said, we won't have much going. So the game day prep, like I said, we'll watch game day for these late games. We'll go out, watch game day. We've got some friends that came down to Miami too, so we'll go find them at the tailgate, hang out for a little bit, and then we'll go in. And then, like you said, just kind of check the vibe. And this is interesting too, because the Dolphin Stadium obviously is not on the Miami campus. So, and they share a stadium, right? They share a stadium with the Dolphins, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, it's Hard Rock. Yeah. So, like I said, it's not on campus. So just get different vibe, different feel when you're down here, because, students usually show up early for the games here. I think it's like a 20 or 30-minute drive from the campus. So, like I said, again, it's just a different feel here. So, again, we'll walk around, probably get the game about 3-4 hours earlier. and just check the scene and study our notes and then get ready for kickoff.
What's it like travel? You travel both with the team and then on your own, I guess. It varies depending on, I guess, however much space they have on the charters. What's it like?
Right.
What's it like traveling with the team?
Oh, man. It's actually really cool because you get to see some of your favorite players. You get to see some of the old coaches, some of the guys that I played with. Like I said, Nick Eason's there. Heck, half the coaching staff is guys that I played with back in the day. So it's really cool to see some of those folks, get to see wives, kids, that type of stuff. But it's a business trip for them. So, it's suit and tie on the plane. And, it's not a lot of rah-rah going on. It's all business. So it's just different now. Traveling, by myself on my own dime, it's, a little bit more laid back, relaxed. You kind of don't have a schedule, so you can do whatever you need to when you need to. So that's the major difference is just kind of having that time for yourself and being able to not have a structured if you want to stop somewhere and go see something, you can't do it on the team plane or the team bus. So that's but it's really cool, like I said, again, to be able to travel with them and just see some of the old friends and stuff too, man. Like I said, being able to catch up and reconnect, especially with old family and friends. So it's a pretty cool deal. But they're definitely, it's business for them. So it's gets down to the nitty gritty.
As you look back at getting this job, this role, what did you do to set yourself up, to put yourself in position to get this job?
Well, I'll tell you what, man, I had a bunch of recommendations too. Patrick Sapp gave me a good recommendation, and then a couple other people did as well. And like I said, it was really cool. So obviously, we've done a couple pregame shows. What was it called? Oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of the name. Roy Philpott had me on a couple times too. Doing Legends of the Valley, that type stuff. Mm-hmm. Doing a couple pregame shows, and like I said, again, I had a couple good recommendations by some people that were on the staff too. And like I said, just jumped in and started going from there. So it's just, like I said, it's a really cool gig to be a part of. I think a lot of people don't understand, once you're done playing football, that's all you kind of think about for a while. So it's awesome to be a part of the football program without actually being a part of the staff, if that makes any sense. So, I can enjoy watching the game. I can enjoy my time around the game, but not have to be locked down to the game, if that makes any sense. So, like I said, I really enjoy my time and enjoy the people I'm around. And like I said, again, such a wealth of knowledge with Don and Tim being there, which is just really cool. So, just awesome to be part of it.
Upstate folks, and particularly Clemson area folks, there's a great tradition that's been going on recently in Westminster, the Music on Main Free Music Festival in downtown Westminster. I can vouch for it, having played there and also attended on several occasions. It's put on by the Westminster Music Center, a nonprofit organization with the mission of promoting the joy of live music in the community. Tonight, October 21st, will feature two bands, the Songs from the Road Touring Band and my band, Amongst the Trees, although I won't be there because I have to work. Classic car show starts at 3, concert starts at 5. More info, go to westminstermusiccenter.org. Want to share a quick word about Founders Federal Credit Union? If you've been to a sporting event in Clemson, you've probably heard about Founders already. They are the official credit union partner of the Clemson Tigers. In addition to that, all Clemson faculty, staff, and students are eligible for membership as well as IPTAY members. Its office is located beside the Walmart Neighborhood Market on Old Greenville Highway in Clemson. For more information, go to foundersfcu.com. Upstate foodies, want to take a moment to talk to you about our favorite taco spot, Willie Taco. 5 locations across the upstate. This award-winning team has been serving up fresh taco fusion for a solid decade now. The chefs at Willie Taco utilize the freshest, most creative, and sometimes unexpected ingredients in their kitchens. Come see why Southern Living, Garden and Gun, and Food and Wine Magazine are raving about Willie Taco and their signature offerings, such as their Southern Tide, crispy avocado, Nashville hot chicken tacos,
literally flavors you will not find anywhere else, folks. And don't forget about the cocktails. Super fresh margaritas, ice cold cerveza, and over 80 tequilas served up daily from behind the bar. So don't wait, folks. Your Willie Taco Familia is ready to serve you up their twist on funky, fresh fusion. It's the Willie way. Another loyal supporter of the Dubcast is Blackacre Law Firm in Greenville, a subsidiary of Parham Smith and Archambault. Blackacre helps South Carolina residents achieve their dreams of home ownership by providing experienced professional representation for real estate closings. Attention to detail is crucial in real estate law. Blackacre is committed to making sure nothing gets by them preparing residential or commercial closings. Blackacre also offers estate planning services for their clients in the Greenville area. Find out more about Blackacre at 864-326-3507. How do you balance during a game those connections and those relationships and that loyalty? And I mean, obviously you're working for the flagship station. This is their network, their broadcast. How do you balance those connections with, you know what, I'm going to call it like I see it? Is that a tough balance?
Absolutely. It's tough watching, your team, which, love dearly, struggle so much, especially beginning of the year. It's got, like I said, it's hard to explain. They've had to talk to me in the booth sometime about not throwing my headset, because you see stuff that's like, man, what are we doing? And obviously, we've struggled. Clemson has struggled a good bit, and it's just self-inflicted wounds, and kind of watching just in general, like you said, man. Coach says we're 3 plays from being undefeated. Yeah, we're 3 plays from being undefeated. But look at the games that we played in, and look at the stuff that we did. We didn't look good a lot this season, and it's a part of I don't know. And it just, we were so good the last few years, being a part of what we're a part of now. And it's like, man, what are we doing as a coaching staff, as a team? A lot of people on the internet are like, man, the Jimmies and Joes are no longer there. Why are we struggling? Why we have these such and such kids doing this type, blah, blah, blah. So it's really hard to separate yourself, again, with friends being, on the coaching staff, and knowing some of the players, that type of stuff. It's really been hard to see the season, what we've gone through this year, and how much we've struggled. But at the same time, it's what do you call it? Kind of a wake up call. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be kind of a wake up call to all the Clemson folks to say, hey, this is still a good football team. We've still got a lot going on for ourselves. We don't need to give up hope. And like Dabo was saying the other day, maybe we need to lose some bandwagon fans. So, if you made it through the Tommy Bowden era, you can make it through this 2-game skid that Clemson's going through, now. Obviously you're not playing for a national title this year, but you've had a little fall off. So, there's no need to go in the ditches on the team, but just realizing that these are young kids, and everybody makes mistakes, and we can finish out the season strong and win some games. And like I said, again, it's going to be okay. So, but long story short, I've thrown my headset a couple times. I've probably said some things that I probably shouldn't have, but it's frustrating to see how good this team, how good this young team is, and it's got a lot of upside. And a lot of people just don't realize how young the team is right now, and everybody keeps comparing the kids to former players, and you just can't do that. So. That's the hardest part about it, is just, kind of calming yourself and realizing that these are 18, 19, 20-year-old kids. And, like Dabo says, best as a standard, but we're working on the standard right now, kind of reinventing ourselves, reinventing the team and the way they work together. So got some young stars out there that are coming together. So just gotta keep pushing.
All right, everybody listening to this is going to be dying to know, when did you throw the headsets?
Oh, wow. Well, we can go back. We can go back to a couple of games. I mean, you think about was it last year in the double overtime at Wake Forest? Toss one then. Toss one at South Carolina. Let's see here. There's been a couple of games. So Duke for sure. False start inside the 5, and then 2 fumbles inside the 5, and I'm just like, man, my gosh. But again, it's being a former player, and like you said, again, just having that passion for the game, and it's the simple mistakes, right? It's the stuff, the little stuff that adds up to the big stuff. So, just kind of eats at you. But again, like you said, it's kind of one of those things, like you said, we were talking about earlier, just seeing stuff from the booth. I was like, man, a guy's running wide open down the seam. Throw it to him. Check your reads. What are you looking at? And one of the things I do that just chapped me so much last year, which was a young quarterback mistake. Again, just being young, is Cade not reading his offensive line. Like, you got to understand, offensive linemen are taught not to give up the inside. The reason why they're not taught to get up the inside is so you could have a pocket to throw from or run from. So, again, if the offensive line is working hard to create that pocket and you're running backwards trying to get out of the pocket, I said, man, just step up, take the throw, take the check down. Don't throw in the triple coverage. Just read your keys and just, work the game plan. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I had on him. So I did throw my headset a couple times during that Tennessee game because I saw a young quarterback struggle in the simple stuff. And so, that's just hard, especially how good the kid is, hard to watch. So, yeah.
Has Ben had to repair any of these headsets?
No, he scolded me several times, and he'll cut my mic off too. So he'll cut my mic off too. And like I said again, that they made a soundbite of it last year. It's a pick because I screamed it on the headset. When Sam Hartman just dropped back and just launched one to the end zone. So and they made fun of me all year last year. But anyways, yeah, he has my. His hand on the button for the mute for my mic for sure. But like I said, it's just kind of one of those things too, man. Just passionate about the game, and and some of the running backs too. Like I said, if somebody misses a block or something like that, I've been said to say some words through the mic. But again, I'm just excited for the team and excited to be a part of the game day processions. And like I said, this is a young team, so they're gonna. They're going to have some moments. But, yeah, if I was at home watching my TV, I'd be saying the same thing, too. So I'm not too ashamed about it.
I had some friends who were listening to the radio broadcast late in the Florida State game, and they said, man, the broadcast was really voicing its displeasure when they started to slow things down there late in regulation, sort of almost it looked like they were trying to set up the field goal. And I did some further digging and heard it was you who was like, you're like, what are we doing? Can you just take me back to that sequence? And as you're trying to sort of control your emotions, but also tell the truth as you see it.
Oh, well, let's take a step back further than that. Let's go the week of. Which is crazy to me. So, Dabo goes on his, regular media day. I think it was Tuesday or might have been Monday. And he said he was bringing in another kicker, a guy who kicked for him past years. And, he was in online classes and, they're going to bring him in to kind of help the team out. So in my eyes, I'm just like, what? So, you've got, a guy who didn't do summer camp, who didn't do fall camp, didn't do spring drills with the team. So you're going to bring him in to help you guys kick game time situation. And I'm just thinking to my head, like Dabo said, this could be the best thing or the worst thing. And I'm thinking this is the worst thing because first of all, you've got a kicker who's been here, 2 years now kicking. And, he's got some struggles. Maybe they, tried to, fix his timing or try to correct his steps on the kick or something. I don't know. Kickers are fickle, so you can't just go and, tell them, all right, take 2 steps and kick they've got a whole routine. They wear the same underwear, same socks. They have the same shoes. They're very fickle. So you can't just tweak one thing and expect it not to, affect other things. So, anyways, long story short, we get down. I think we're up at one point. Anyways, it comes down to a kick. No, Florida State scores, so we're down. I think we're down 2. Anyways, we have a great drive, and we don't take any shots to the end zone the entire time. Not a shot to Collins, Brown, anybody. I said, man, you got these big-time tight ends that we boast so much about. Put them one-on-one with the linebacker in the slot and just take a shot to the end zone, see what happens. But no, we run the ball. We have an ill-advised, screen pass to the sideline.
Well, that was overtime. That was overtime.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that was overtime. But yeah. I'm just like, man, what are we doing? It's fourth quarter. I think we had like 2 or 3 minutes to go. And it's like, man, go to win the game. What are we patting our feet for, trying to go for a field goal when we have a kicker who I'm still mind blown about it. I mean, why would you bring it? Why would you put that kicker in that situation when he hasn't been there all year? He basically just fresh off the boat, and you put him in to win a game. So I just bad taste in my mouth. And not only for the guy that they brought in to kick, but I forget the kid's name who's kicking now. But, you think about all the time that he's put in. And yes, he had a rough start to the season. Yes, he had a kick block. There's a lot of excuses there. But, you want somebody to go more into the tank, that's what you do. You go replace him with a person who hasn't been on the team. So, again, in my eyes, if I'm that young kicker right now, Clemson's not my place to be. So as soon as the portal opens, I'm gone. And that's just a fact of the game. I even went through that situation when CJ and James came in. I didn't play for a long time. I think I missed like 6 or 7 games. But it's kind of one of those things, man. These are young guys, and kickers are, like I said, are so fickle. It's going to be in his head for a while, and you just don't bounce back from something like that. And that's just kind of one of those crazy things that there's no coming back from that. There's no coming back from that. So
yeah, to your point of not taking any shots to the end zone, the most egregious thing is that because Florida State's in zero coverage that whole time during the both those possessions, the last possession of regulation and also the first and only possession of overtime, they are begging you to take a shot. I mean, one-on-one coverage, no safety, nothing. And I mean, how many times in the past would that have been just like something Clemson does in its sleep? You just throw it up, let them go get it.
Just throw it up. So again, I think the most stressful thing is watching our wide receiver group this year try to perform. So, Brown has been amazing, who's a freshman. Stiletto, who's healthy now, has been amazing. But the most tenured guys have not shown up. I think Bo Collins would have got benched for 3 games, in my eyes, if I was a coach, because he celebrated on the 20 against Charleston Southern going in to score. I mean, I would have just ripped him. He would have sat for at least a game. I would have just ripped him up and down. He was like, you have not arrived. You're not that guy. And, to show that unsportsmanlike, conduct against a team who made the game close anyways in the first half, it's just ridiculous to me. But anyways, neither here nor there. But I just think that when you start talking about a team that has shown sparks of greatness, but then they just fumble on the small stuff, you're either coaching it or allowing it to happen. And that's, I think we have the players to be great. They're young, yes. But like I said, again, some of the mistakes that we've made have been critical coaching errors. And like I said, young coaching staff too. A lot of these guys are handpicked by Dabo. But, they've got a lot of upside, but just young team, young staff. And it's, it shows. It shows in some critical times. So if I'm the OC and this is my first time with this young team, I'm trying to be as cutthroat as possible. So I'm running fakes. I'm running all type of stuff to let this team know that we're not going to settle just by winning by 7 or 3 or 2 or 1. Like, we're going to outscore anybody and everybody. And, that's just the mentality you got to have. So I put it to you like this. So when Brent Venables was here, if somebody missed a tackle or missed an assignment, he was halfway on the field with their face mask in his hand, in their hand, basically reaming them. Now you don't see that. It's more laid back, I guess. Not saying that it's, a bad thing, but at the same time, there's not that type of killer instinct on this team yet. And that's just probably because they're young. You've only got one senior offensive lineman, you got one senior wide receiver, a couple seniors on defense, but it's just a young team. So maybe that's a part of it. But definitely talking about just I don't know, just again, you could go through all the games this season and pick out 1 or 2 plays that, it's just like, man, if I was the coach, what would I do to that kid? But, just young. Kid's just young, man. Team's just young, so you're going to have some of that stuff.
Of course, the Bo Collins, not young, and he's still almost – I mean, lucky. The ball should have had the guy swipe all he had to do was poke the ball away. It would have been a lost fumble through the end zone. It would have been even more embarrassing.
Man, it's just crazy.
And then, it's totally fair to say this team is only a few plays away from being undefeated, but it's also fair to say they're a few plays away from being 2-4.
Yep, absolutely.
Syracuse dropped a couple of balls that could have been pick sixes, would have been likely pick sixes, I think. And then Wake Forest, you score 17 points at home, you're flirting with disaster there. So, interesting. I had Jad Dean on last week, and so this is a very good sort of segue to you in that, Jad he spent years trying to get over the missed field goal against South Carolina in 2006, just torturing himself. Thankfully, he's now able to look back and laugh about it as he talks about the trauma that inflicted. But the most fascinating thing that came from my interview with Jad was the reaction to that interview and to his self-torture about the missed kick. The reaction from fans on our message board, 9 subscribers out of 10 said, I don't even remember the kick. I remember they took Reggie out. They're still pissed about that. Still pissed. That's what they remember. And so I just, it's interesting because, that people are, I guess, they can understand a missed kick, but they cannot understand yanking you out of the game when the crowd is chanting your name.
Well, I tell you what, man, if I had $1 for every time, buddy, that would be something. Because everywhere you go, man, the people still talk about it. So I just think it's funny. And what's even funnier in that situation, like I said, we didn't really talk about it at the end of that game. It was kind of one of those things where everybody just kind of somberly left the locker room. But it was a big deal. It was a big deal not only to me, but being a senior, but, to my family, obviously. It's a lot of things that probably should have been done differently. It was, it was just rough. And anyways, like I say, coming off of a big game skid like we did, I think we won the game before that. But anyways, coming home and I think South Carolina, trying to think, were they fighting for a bowl game? No. I think they were already bowl eligible at that point. But yeah, just try to, fight for a win. Obviously senior season, you want to go out with the bang, and not being able to kind of finish what you started as far as, not going to South Carolina, choosing Clemson, trying to cap off your senior season with 8 wins, just all the stuff, you could think about that was on your board, your list to do in the off season while you were training. But I just think it's funny because after talking with Coach Burns and I didn't talk to Coach Bowden for a while. I mean, that was like legit. I didn't talk to him for a while. And then ended up going to Tennessee for that bowl game, and we got absolutely beat down by Kentucky. I went on to take a couple of visits, a couple of teams in the NFL, and I'll forever remember this. I was at the Chicago O'Hare Airport, and I had a missed call from an 864 number, so ended up calling it back, and it was Tommy. And we talked for about 5 minutes as I was, rolling through the airport, waiting for my limo and all that good stuff. And then he said everything, but I'm sorry. And and he said, if there's anything I can do for you, just let me know. So that was heartfelt. But like I said, again, man, you train so hard for something. And, you talk about all this finishing the drill and doing all this type stuff. But when it really came down to it, man, we couldn't get the job done. And it was, just surreal. So, Jad Dean had a lot on his hands. I know he had a bit of an issue, man, having to go to like therapy and all that type stuff. So you can imagine how I felt. And you'll never hear me complain, but it was rough. It was almost like having a prize fighter, and it's like, you know what, we're not gonna let you finish this round. We're gonna put somebody else in, and having to sit there and watch your team go down in flames when you definitely could have helped have been a part of it. So, left a bad taste in my mouth for a long time. But that's football. That's football. That's just a part of it. And, you're going to have those ups and downs, and just like you're going to have in life. So, just got to be better for it. And, just hope that, when your time is called off the field, that you can be, ready for your opportunity. So, like I said, again, I think it's a funny thing because every time that I meet people now, they'll either ask me what happened in that South Carolina game or why it happened in that South Carolina game. So I just think that's really funny.
What did Tommy say to you over the phone when you were at Chicago Airport?
Nothing. We were just talking about the team and, how things were going to be the next year and all that type stuff. And then obviously talking about, my opportunity with, I think I was visiting the Bears, and then I had another one set up too. He asked me how the Hula Bowl went because obviously I went to Hawaii for that. And that's just about it. It was just, two guys on the phone, shooting the, just chit-chatting. So, like I said, it was a little surreal. So, just two guys on the phone just talking about life, man.
You felt like you deserved an apology.
I wouldn't say deserved an apology. I would just say, man, it's so Tommy and I had a weird relationship. So Tommy's one of those guys, like I said, again, I got recruited by Rick Stockstill, and they basically came to the house, what was that, official visit? And no, before my official visit, I think. So this was during football season. I think they came to the house. My mom will never forget this story, but they just had come from, I think, Low Country, down there where Charleston or something like that, visiting a player. And then they came back through on their way back to Clemson, and they stopped by the house. And long road trip for them. So Rick Stockstill, we always loved Rick, man. Rick was just a good talker. And he was one of those guys that very charismatic that, felt that, he was the guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So kind of hard to explain, but, he remembered everybody's name, remembered, my sister's name, which is just crazy to me. Remembered my stats from the week or two before. And just kind of one of those guys that knew what he was talking about, man. And just, like I said, he reminds me of Dabo a good bit, man, just really into it. But anyways, so they were there for probably about 30 minutes. We're sitting there talking, parents just asking questions. They were just, talking about where they've been, how their drive was and all that. And we were watching football, I think, that day. And then, we had stopped talking. And then, Tommy Bowden starts taking off his shoes. And we're like, what is happening here? And he straight up takes off his shoes, puts his arms behind his head, and he kicks back on the couch, puts his feet up on the table. And my mom was like, oh, no. Yeah, she was like, no, sir. And then, Rick, collateral damage here. He said, man, it's okay. It's just been a long ride, blah, 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 blah. And we're going to go now. And she was like, yeah, y'all can leave. And so it was, I think it was a funny, surreal moment. But like I said, again, my parents just love Rick Stockstill to death. My mom, not so much for love for Tommy. But I just think it's just one of those funny things, man. I mean, long day, we're on the recruiting trail, man. You're trying to get a kid to come there. Like I said, late Sunday afternoon, I believe it was, and he ends up kicking up his feet on the coffee table. My mom was like, nah, guy, nah. So I just think that's funny. So,
she told him to take his feet off of her table? Yes,
absolutely. And it's like, man, why would you? But you could see, I mean, like I said, again, man, it's, long. They had a long drive, man. It's like 2.5 hours coming from Charleston. I think they came from Low Country. But anyways, they were just kind of set up relaxed. And, you don't put your feet up on somebody's coffee table. So I just think that's funny. But yeah.
I thought you were going to tell me he went down for a nap.
He might have been closing his eyes. Like I said, he was getting relaxed for sure. So I just thought that was funny. But yeah, that's one of the things. My mom to this day still talks about that. She doesn't like that very much. But I just think it's funny. So. And
yet you still went to Clemson.
Still went to Clemson. Like I said, man, my parents were really cool about the whole ordeal. Obviously, first person in my family to go to a major Division I college and, graduate and all that good stuff. But they wanted me to enjoy the college life, and they wanted me to make my own decisions and, go from there. So that's what I did, man. I made my decision to go to Rick Stockstill and, be a part of it. And like I said, man, all things considered, I had a great time, and we accomplished some great things, and the rest is history. So enjoyed my time, and it's been good. So it's like I said, I wouldn't if I had a chance to do it, I probably would change a few things. But like I said, life lessons, and I'll be able to take everything that I learned from Clemson and did at Clemson into my real life, which I have. And like I said, man, you got one of those great quotes out there that's basically talking about sports and how you can give your all, but nothing's guaranteed. I mean, that's basically life. So, if you can make it playing a sport, and you can definitely make it in life, because it has the same ups and downs and the same joys and sorrows. And, it's just kind of one of the things you got to pick yourself up by the bootstraps when you're down and continue to fight and move forward.
You said you would change a few things if you could. What would those be?
I'd probably make myself a little bit taller. High school sports report had me listed at, I think, like 6'1", so I definitely like to be that. And then I probably would have probably done a few different other things. But like I said, I had a great college career, and the addition of James Davis coming to the backfield, man, that was really cool. I've always split time when I was at Clemson. So, like I said, my sophomore year, Yusuf Kelly, Dwayne Coleman, Kyle Browning. Then that next year, James Davis was in the mix. And then that following year was CJ. So, like I said, we always had a crowded backfield, but we had some really good talent. So, just awesome experience being able to play with those guys and, like I said, be a part of Clemson. Just Clemson royalty, I guess. That's just really cool.
Had the portal been around then, you would have been gone, probably, right?
You know what? I say probably, but maybe not. Maybe not. Like I said, man, I enjoyed my time, and I enjoyed the battle. I enjoyed the camaraderie, man, that I just shared with James and CJ. So, man, I had an awesome time. At Clemson. I don't think I really would have changed much, but definitely being part of a crowded backfield like that will make you think twice about coming to Clemson. But like I said, again, I had an awesome time. Wouldn't change much. But man, just the offense that we had, and then us losing. Oh my gosh, I can't his name. He ended up going to Virginia Tech, and we got Rob Spence. Being a part of that offense with Rob Spence and a few other guys, man. Like I said, it was cool. We enjoyed our time. But man, we had 3 different coordinators in 5 years.
Yeah, O'Kane got fired after the 04 season, which would have been your sophomore season. Right.
So, man, just a weird deal, a weird deal there. So I honestly think, O'Kane was a great coordinator. I mean, he's the one that basically fixed our run game and did all that. But, watching us struggle at Duke after beating Miami, it makes you scratch your head a little bit and see why were we doing what we were doing. So, I don't know. It's just a lot between the lines there.
What did Coach Burns say to you after the South Carolina game? You said that he talked to you. What did he say?
Yeah, Coach Burns was saying just encouraging me, man, not to not to have my head down. It wasn't my fault, and just being a coach, man. He was always that guy. Was like a warrior. You know what I mean? And Coach Burns would always say, "I wish they would just let me in the other opposing coach line up at the 50 to decide this game, knock them out." You know what I'm saying? Just silly stuff like that. So, but yeah, we just enjoyed our time, man. And like I said, man, Coach Burns is one of those guys that was always in your corner and was there to help no matter what.
Well, I remember, Reggie, I think the first time I talked to you was when you were a player at North Augusta. I wrote for the Augusta Chronicle. Interviewed you after a game over there, and I can verify you were not 6'1". But man, I never would have thought that I would still know you. I guess 23 years later, 22 years later. So it's been a pleasure knowing you, and I really appreciate you sharing your time, especially on a game day here. Have fun tonight, man.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be awesome, dude. Like I said, man, Clemson need this one kind of bad, so. Like I said, we'll see what they can put together, but hopefully it's a good show.
All right, thanks to Reggie for sharing his very valuable time with us. Also, really appreciate the support of our sponsors for continuing to help make this happen. And, of course, thanks to every single one of you for listening. Really appreciate it. Cheers.